Right now, I am looking at a shelf for relics, collections of has-beens, old-timers, antiques, fossils. Right now, I am looking at a shelf full of books. Yes, that's right. If you have some spare cash, the going rate is about $89. And looking to enhance your reading experience, I highly suggest you consider purchasing an e-reader. E-readers are replacing the books of old, and I welcome them with open arms, as you should. If you haven't heard of an e-reader and doesn't know what it is, then please permit the following explanation. An e-reader is a device that allows you to read e-books. An e-book is a book-length publication in digital form consisting of text, images, or both, and is produced on, published through, and readable on computers or other electronic devices. Sometimes the equivalent of conventional printed books, e-books can also be born digital. The Oxford Dictionary of English defines the e-books as an electronic version of the printed book. But ebooks can and do exist without any printed equivalent. So now you know what an e-reader is. But you still may be wondering why they put printed books to shame. E-readers are superior to printed books because they save space, are environmentally friendly, and provide helpful reading tips and tools that printed books do not. E-readers are superior to printed books because they save space. The average e-reader can store thousands of digital books, providing a veritable library at your fingertips. For anyone who doesn't know, veritable is used as an intensifier, often to qualify a metaphor. What is more, being the size and weight of a thin hardback, the e-reader itself is relatively petite. It is easy to hold and can fit in a pocketbook or briefcase easily. This makes handling ponderous behemoths such as War and Peace, Anna Karenina, and Les Miserables a breeze. Perhaps the only drawback to a space-saving aspect of an e-reader is that it requires you to find new things to put on your shelves. In addition, e-readers are superior to books because they're environmentally friendly. The average novel is about 300 pages long. If one piece of paper holds 4 pages of text, split in half, written on both sides, front and back, then this means it takes 75 pieces of paper to compose a 300-page novel. So if a novel is printed 1,000 times, it will use 75,000 pieces of paper. That's a lot of paper. If there are about 80,000 pieces of paper in a tree, this meant it takes nearly one whole tree to make these 1,000 novels. Now we know that the average bestseller sells about 20,000 copies per week. That means that it takes just under 20 trees each month to sustain this rate. And for the super bestsellers, these figures increase dramatically. For example, the Harry Potter book series has sold over 455 million copies. That's almost 500,000 trees. Upon viewing these figures, it's not hard to grasp the severe impact of printed books on the environment. Since e-readers use no trees, represent a significant amount of preservation in terms of the environment and its resources. Finally, e-readers are superior because they provide helpful reading tips and tools that printed books do not. The typical e-reader allows its user to customize letter size, font, and line spacing. It also allows highlighting and electronic bookmarking. Furthermore, it grants users the ability to get an overview of the book and then jump to a specific location based on that overview. Well, these are all nice features. Perhaps the most helpful is the ability to get dictionary definition at the touch of a finger. Or even the most basic e-reader, users can conjure instant definitions without having to hunt through a physical dictionary. It can be seen that e-readers are superior to printed books. They save space, are environmentally friendly, and provide helpful reading tips and tools that printed books do not. So, what good are printed books? Well, they certainly make nice decorations. As used in paragraph 1, it can be. So, this quiz has 10 questions. And the first question is, as used in the paragraph 1, it can be inferred that relics, has-beens, old-timers, antiques, and fossils are all words that describe something that is. I will highlight the text to make sure for it to be seen easily. This is the first sentence. Looking at a shelf full of relics, a collection of has-beens, old-timers, antiques, and fossils. So, describe something that is ancient. Oh, that's outdated. In paragraph 1, so the explanation is. In paragraph 1, the author describes a shelf full of books as a shelf full of relics, has-beens, old-timers, antiques, fossils. From this, we can understand that the author believes that books share some quality with relics, old-timers, antiques, and fossils. Later in paragraph 1, the author claims that AE readers are replacing the books of old. We can infer that the author believes that e-readers are replacing books because books are outdated. And being outdated is a quality book shares with relics and other words mentioned. So in this context of this term refers to things that has been replaced in some way or are no longer useful. This means the C is correct. Something ancient is very old, although relics and those words all can refer to something very old, and that books are old, but that they are outdated. That means A is incorrect in other words. The author's tone can best be described as there's this word which I didn't really know at all. Conniving. Conniving means scheming and given to or involved in conspiring to do something immoral, illegal, or harmful. Sarcastic is like marked by giving or using irony in order to mock or convey contempt. And this persuading that e-readers are better than books, so this could be in a persuasive voice, a tone. Based on information in paragraph 2, let's highlight that paragraph. It can be understood that e-books were all once printed books. Were. But e-books can and do exist without any printed equivalent, so one is correct. Maybe born digital. E-books can also be this sentence here says that e-books can also be born digital, so 2 is correct, and are able to display images. Definitely, an e-book is a book length. Here, this sentence consisting of text, images, or both. Here, this images. This mentions the word images. This mentions that it can display images, so 2 and 3 are correct. And I think this kind of question is quite easy. A thesis statement is a sentence that clearly describes what the authors plan to discuss. Based on the information which a following sentence from passage is a thesis statement. This a definition sentence, and this is an argument. This also a definition one, and what the author planned to discuss. E-readers are replacing the books of old, and I welcome them with open arms. Most likely, but no. What the heck? It can be inferred that petite belongs to which of the following word groups. Petite means small and dainty, used of a woman. So compact, diminutive, and small are similar to a petite. Based on information in a passage, it can be inferred that War and Peace, Anna Karenina, and Les Miserables are all dense and impenetrable. That more refers to walls. Awkward or unwieldy. Unwieldy means cumbersome, means difficult to carry or move. Philosophical tomes. No, War and Peace is a novel. Authored by Europeans. There is no mention. There's no one mentioning this. Then in timeless classic is really there are more timeless. There are more than 3 timeless classics. And in the passage they say that War and Peace, Anna Karenina, and Les Miserables are ponderous behemoths. So it's most likely awkward or unwieldy. Great. As used in paragraph 5, which is the best synonym for sustain. Here, sustain is can be more like maintain. Which following piece of information, if true, would most weaken the author's argument made in paragraph 5. Thus, whereas the ending and the first and last sentence says that they are environmentally friendly, but so we need to make a sentence that can rebut this sentence. And this sentence relate to the natural resources. And sentence B says that the natural resources required to read an ebook on an e-reader are greater than natural resources required to make a printed book. And books are not made only from whole trees, but from wood chips and forest waste as well. And so, yeah. Most likely, it could be question A or B, but it's either than question B. And nice. According to the author, which are following reading tips and tools are offered by the e-reader? In the last paragraph, they say that the typical e-reader can allow us to customize letter size, font, and line spacing. So one is correct. And to jump to a specific location means quickly jump to the end of the book. And access to an online thesaurus at the touch of a finger. And the dictionary could be the same, similar to a thesaurus. So all 3 could be correct. But no. 2 and 3 only. Oh, at first I thought a dictionary C sources accessibility could be is similar to an in dictionary's accessibility through the e-reader. But yeah, C is incorrect. Which following accurately describes the organization of this passage? Introduction, of course. Introduction, background, thesis, background information is information about the e-books and e-reader. Introduction already. Thesis statement. Like here, this is a sentence when I did wrong. So, and all the next 3 paragraphs are supporting paragraphs, and the final one is a conclusion, of course. So yeah, I passed the test, but not with flying colors, of course. It's not very easy at all. So let's look at my progress. And my Lexile level was that time was 1050, and my grade hasn't changed at all. So I guess that's it for my read theory video.